Welcome back to the program that brings you news from the length and breadth of Nigeria. We'd like to remind you that channelstv.com has more information for you. And on youtube.com/channelsweb, you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Go ahead, install the app, tap and swipe to reveal the menu, then follow the instructions to share. The President of the Senate, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has asked his ADC to pick up the letter of invitation by the police, asking him to come and respond to allegations by 5 of the suspects arrested over the April the 15th bank robbery in Offa, Kwara State. Dr. Saraki announced this on his personal Twitter account, saying that picking up the letter will enable him honor the alleged invitation immediately. Senator Saraki had earlier asked Nigerians to disregard the claims by the police against him, describing the allegations as baseless and a ploy to implicate him by all means. The force headquarters had over the weekend invited the Senate President to come and respond to these allegations by the robbery suspects, who had confessed to killing no fewer than 30 persons, including 9 policemen during the attack. He had on May the 16th raised an alarm over an alleged plot by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, to frame him by getting some suspected cultists arrested in Ilorin to implicate him. More stories now. Normalcy seems to have returned to the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, following the suspension of the strike action by members of the joint health sector unions. Activities are in gear as offices and departments are opened to patients. The public relations officer of the FMC assured residents of effective service delivery to the patients.
The management regrets the recent strike of Joesu, as the medical director and by extension management has already been emphasizing. Strike is always something that nobody benefits from, either the members of the public or the patients. So it's a thing of relief that the strike action called by the leadership of Joesu has been suspended, because when the strike lasted, our patients suffer. But now that normalcy has returned, we want to assure members of the public that yes, normalcy has returned to Federal Medical Center Abeokuta here.
And members of the Academic Staff Union of Research Institutes, as well as staff of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, have commenced picketing at the Ministry of Science and Technology in Abuja as they begin a 3-day warning strike across the nation. The protesters walked into the office complex, locking up offices, thereby bringing activities to a halt. They had earlier occupied the gate of the ministry with placards calling for the dismissal of the permanent secretary. The protesters are accusing the permanent secretary of frustrating the activities of the research institutions and asking the secretary to the government and Minister of Science and Technology to intervene.
As I speak to you now, the permanent secretary of this ministry has refused to recognize 3 chief executives of research institutions that were appointed by the minister. And we know that very clearly. In the case of Naseni, which is, in fact, these 3 research institutions are the biggest research institutions we have in this country. In the case of Naseni, we can tell you authoritatively that she walked out the acting EVC from a peer review meeting at the Raw Material Research Council some few weeks ago, and said that she doesn't recognize his appointment. First of all, we are directing to the minister. He should do more. It's his ministry. He should take charge. And if there are any issues, now we're also directing it to SGF. We're also directing it to the president of the country. So what we are now saying is that, Mr. President, this is what is going on here. All your efforts are being thwarted. As we tell you now, all research institutes in Nigeria are on strike. The warning strike is for 3 days. But if by that Wednesday, we don't see any action from government, any positive action from government, we are at liberty to continue that strike.
Meanwhile, in another development, the Indigo State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi is advocating improved science and technology education for rapid development across the country. He was speaking at the 4th Distinguished Academic Lecture of the Institute of Management and Technology, titled The Place of Good Governance in Achieving Functional Science and Technology Education in Nigeria. According to Governor Ugwuanyi, the importance of science and technology in Nigerian schools cannot be overemphasized. And this is because most developed countries are judged based on their technological advancement. And to demonstrate his administration's commitment to education, 4-year scholarships were granted to 340 engineering students of the institute.
Presently, scientific and technological breakthroughs touch almost every aspect of human life, ranging from healthcare, communication, transport, entertainment, housing to banking and finance. Despite the above-stated importance of science and technology, our country is seriously lagging behind. The reason for this is not far-fetched. Science and technology education is the driving force behind advancement in science and technology. We are where we are today because of the importance we attach to science and technology education. And this is the difference between developed and developing nations. I dare say, and thereby re-echo, that part of why Nigeria is still a developing nation, despite the abundance of human and natural resources, is the absence of functional science and technology education. Therefore, science and technology education is key to any preparation for the challenges ahead and in the quest to acquire more modicum of competitive edge in this globalized world.
And in the South-South, the Department of Petroleum Resources in Cross River State has begun surveillance of petroleum depots in Calabar, the state capital, to ensure that they comply with safety guidelines. This is to avert a recurrence of the July 2017 incident, where a tank farm was gutted by fire at the Calabar Free Trade Zone enterprise, leaving many dead and others with serious degrees of injuries. The head downstream of the DPR, Ijoma Onyeri, while speaking during a spot assessment visit to some tank farms in Calabar, insists that safety remains the guiding principle of the DPR operations.
The Calabar Export Processing Zone comprises of several tank farms which service petroleum products to several states of Nigeria, including Cross River State. In July 2017, a major fire outbreak broke out in one of these tank farms as a result of illegal activity going on in the farm, which caused several deaths, leaving many with serious degrees of burns as well as destruction of property. In a bid to avert a recurrence within the Calabar depot, the Department of Petroleum Resources is taking the issue of safety seriously as it forms the major discourse at this quarterly meeting with the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Major Marketers Association of Nigeria, and owners of private depot residuals in Calabar. The meeting urges participants to comply by the rules and regulations guiding acquisition, sales and distribution of petroleum products within their reach. The head downstream sector, DPR, encouraged the marketers to be more vigilant and equip their units with more sophisticated security gadgets.
My call to depot operators is to ensure that the depot facilities are kept in line with the stipulated safety standards, making sure that there's hitch-free activities to make sure that the facilities are safe, the personnel are safe, to have zero incident.
Away from the meeting is a tour of facilities around some tank farms at the Calabar depot, led by the director, downstream sector, to ascertain their safety compliance level.
We are visiting these depots to see that they are well prepared in case such happens again, and also to ensure that they put everything in place to avoid a reoccurrence of such incidents.
The visit is expected to afford players in the industry an opportunity to re-strategize and reorganize their internal security network by prioritizing safety measures as a major component of effective service delivery.
Coming up on News Across Nigeria, trouble is still brewing within the ranks of the APC over a court ruling that nullified the party's congresses. Stay with us.